All right. Welcome to your assessment task explanation. I'm really sorry that I can't do this in person, but at least we have this ability to do it over video, and you can keep coming back to this whenever you want. Plus, we'll go through it when I'm back from camp. Okay, we'll just really quickly zoom through it. Hopefully it all makes sense. I'll go through it like I normally would in class. This is number 2, task number 2. Obviously, we had our in-class source analysis from the first one. This one is on our topic of Russia and the Soviet Union, which we've just finished. And I really want to point this quote out to start with. It gives us a bit of context for our question. It is not heroes that make history, but history that makes heroes, by old Stalin himself. Okay, and that tees us up quite well for our question. Your task is an historical analysis. Now, before we even dive any further into the rest of the topic, historical analysis is very similar to your traditional essay, but it's more like your historical investigation that you did in year 11. And what I mean by that is most essays have an argument that you bring information to. An historical analysis is an essay where you are engaging with a topic, okay? You are bringing as many historians and their interpretations to answer this question. So it's not so much here's a question, here's one answer. An historical analysis focuses on here's a topic and here's all the debate and perspectives and discourse on that topic from as many historians as you can, and then you settle on your conclusion. Okay, now I'll explain that a bit more once we see the question, but just remember your focus is what do historians think? What quotes can I pull from them? And once you summarize, paraphrase, and compile all of those opinions, what conclusion can you bring to it? Okay. Now, this is due next term, week 2. Okay, so it's week 8 now. You've got weeks 9, 10, 2 weeks of the holidays, and then 2 weeks of term 2. So a fair amount of time to get this done. It'll be due by 9 a.m. on the Friday, the 5th of May. Here are the outcomes that you will be assessed on. Don't worry too much about this. This is more for me than you. Topic focus, obviously Russia, and it's going to be worth 25%. Each of your assessment tasks is worth 25, so it's a nice, easy add up. So, as we discussed, you kind of knew what this question was going to be, but here's how I phrased it. You will engage in historical analysis and construct a written response to the following question. Why was Stalin able to achieve supreme power? Okay. Notice this isn't just how. Now, the how is a straightforward narrative. There's no real discussion beyond that. We know about the triumvirates and all of that kind of stuff. So don't get confused with just telling me how he came to power. Now, that comes into it to some degree, but I'm really looking for why. What was it about Stalin and his political maneuvers that made him able to achieve supreme power? And this is where your historians come into it, because they will all have a range of different perspectives on what the main point of Stalin's personality or political maneuvers was that made him achieve that supreme power. You are to analyse that discourse, analyse that conversation by historians, as many as you can, to ascertain why specifically he was able to achieve power. Maybe prioritise 1 or 2 ideas across the others, cover them all. Now, there's a beautiful summary in your booklets with a nice little flow chart. There's 6 kind of reasons why, and we looked at it. It was like a whole dot point in itself where we gathered the info without the historians. Now you need to back it up with those historians. Cover all of the reasons why he was able to come to power, settle on your decision based on the historians as to the most influential. That comes across in your conclusion. Okay, so not just how he came to power, why was he able to achieve that power? What about Stalin made him achieve that supreme power? Now, a lot of factors combined together. Explore all the factors, bring back to a conclusion of a clear answer why. So your response should propose a thesis regarding this above statement, i.e., answer the question. You need to have a specific why. Okay. Presented as an essay, 1,200 to 1,500 words. Now, previous years I've done it shorter, but this is quite a broad topic with plenty to go from. I think you guys will need more words to be able to cover it adequately. And I also think that it's a really good opportunity for you guys to go deep into the historians, and there's genuinely thousands of historians who talk about this, okay? So that's why I boosted it up to the 1,200 to 1,500, obviously the 10% either side. Engage in historical analysis, i.e. bring in as many historians as you can, and then include an appropriately formative bibliography, which again will provide to you like I've done through year 11. So I'll remind you of those expectations. As we know inside and out, you will be assessed on how well you demonstrate reasoned and sustained judgment. Have you put together a strong argument? All right, is it reasoned in terms of does it make sense? Is it logical? Is it not pulling from conspiracies? Is it kind of backed in reality? And the sustained means, is it long enough? Okay, do you have a consistent judgment throughout? Is it well structured? Do you stick to your argument? Okay. Support your line of argument with relevant historical analysis. Again, that's your historical knowledge and analysis of that knowledge. Right. Going, yes, his role as General Secretary was important, but why? Analyze that historical knowledge, okay, that historical fact. Give me a good rundown of why that General Secretary position enabled him to achieve supreme power, and you're ticking that box. Analyze and interpret sources to support a historical account or argument. Again, that is making sure that you are having a range of different historians, and not only are you getting information from them, but you are analysing them and interpreting them, synthesizing their ideas, summarizing, paraphrasing them accurately to put together your argument. And as always, knowledge, terms, and concepts. All right, marking criteria out of 25. Let's aim for that B range just to go through now. Well, obviously aim for the higher, but let's look at the B range just to see where we could mostly hit. Reason, judgment, like we just talked about, historical knowledge and understanding, interpretation with thorough analysis of sources, well-structured terms and concepts. All right, just the stuff we went through here, that's why we put it there. Reasoned, we talked through historical knowledge and understanding relevant to the question. That's your why, not how. Sources, etc. Okay. At the end, I'll give you a nice comment on how to work through what we've done well, what you need to improve. Mark, percentage, and rank for this task. And then I've also included on here, and I'm going to try and do this more and more for all of my classes, is just a reminder of your HSC requirements for assessment task. Okay, now this is a summative assessment task, and I've made sure that it fits all of these dot points. Non-submission or completion. Please read through this and in your own time. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I know you guys have heard it 1,000 times, but this is here for you if you ever feel like you don't get it done or you won't get it done, or if you need an extension or a change of assessment date. Okay, something happens through the holidays and you just get absolutely left blindsided by it. You can come back here and see the steps you need to take to make a request for an extension. Or if something happens and you don't submit it on time, here is what we will do. As well as, and very importantly, academic honesty. You will be doing a lot of research for this task, which means that you will need to really get into the habit of paraphrasing, summarizing, and referencing. Okay? The last thing any of us wants is some kind of plagiarism issue because you rushed through your research or left it to the last minute, okay? So part of your agreement as to when you're submitting this is that it is your own work, and that if you plagiarize, you have a really, really tough time ahead of you when it comes to owning up to that, okay? And then there's obviously a bit of an appeals option here. So, summarize 1,200 words to 1,500 words. Why was Stalin able to achieve supreme power? Historical analysis means you need to bring as many historians' perspectives in as you can and then come to your own thesis or conclusion. Really state your own idea of exactly why Stalin was able to come to power. Don't settle on, there's a range of reasons. Settle on some influential ones, cover them all, but really lock in, a couple that you think are the most influential. Okay? You should be watching this midway through your double. If you've finished your booklet, you can absolutely dive into working on this. I'd love for you to finish off your booklet first because you do have weeks and weeks for this, and I don't want to leave conflict in Europe behind just yet. So get cracking. Email through any questions. We'll absolutely go through it on next time we have class. But there is your assessment task for this topic. Good luck.